What's up, everybody? Check it out. Got some new Stray Dog Tech merch. I don't know that I'm gonna be selling any. Just got it for my own personal use. Thought maybe I'd start giving away some stuff with like the PC flips. I don't know, just playing around with some ideas. But anyway, I've got just about everything for the setup done. I just got to build the PC that's gonna power it. So I thought this would be a good time before I get started to kind of go over the differences in high end motherboard versus budget low end motherboard. As you can see, this is like bare bones. This is like, I mean, the minimal. This motherboard doesn't even have a M.2 slot on it. Literally just have your SATA ports. Not too many of those. There's only two. Where most of them are going to have at least four. You see the difference in the capacitors and everything are just bare. There's no heat sinks hardly. Where this thing's covered up. That's basically just a lot of it's aesthetics, but some of it does serve a purpose and actually keeping the board from overheating in places. But yeah, you can see a huge difference in the two. Like where this one I actually got, I've actually had this one for like a year almost, I think. I got it on Facebook Marketplace for like $30. To be honest with you, I haven't even tested the motherboard, but it's a MSI A320 Pro, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Where it's not going to be can't overclock or do any of that. Like I said, bare bones. This is an AM4 board, where this is an Intel board, and it's a Z790. Anytime you see the Z, that means it's you can overclock. So it'd be kind of stupid to get a Z790, for example, and put like a locked i3 or something in it. Whereas this is for your basic budget builds and kind of what I'm used to using. A lot of times, budget builds sell better for me. That's what I build the most of. So everything that I'm building with is brand new today because it's for my personal build and on the higher end. So I'm gonna be a little nervous to be honest with you, because I mean this board costs like $30, like I said, whereas this one cost, like, I got it on sale for $229. It normally goes for like 300. So this board is like 6 times the value of this board. But I don't know, just while I had it out, I thought this would be a good time to kind of show the examples of, you know, uh, budget versus high end. Also, if you notice, this one has 2 slots and this one has 4. That doesn't necessarily have anything to do with the high end versus low end. This is actually a micro ATX board, whereas this is a regular full ATX board. And this one I thought was kind of funny. It even has like Velcro on it. Never seen that on a motherboard, but again, I don't work with too many high-end motherboards, so I did actually get a keychain with this one that I definitely use, because I mean it's like a $200 keychain in my eyes, so I'm definitely getting all the value I can out of this sucker. But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna put this guy away, kind of make some more room, and I don't know how far I'm gonna get. I don't even know how long I can record before my phone like overheats or run out of space. Probably not gonna do the entire build because it's gonna make for a really long video, which I can already tell this is gonna be a really long video. But I, I'm going to try to focus on this area too, because I don't want to show off too much of the room. So like I said, I have almost everything for the setup complete. As you can see, I got my pegboard up now in the background. But I'm trying to save all that for a grand reveal. I don't want to, do any spoilers, because I've done a lot of work in the background off camera since y'all have last seen the setup. So I'm trying to save all that for an actual like setup tour video. I'm actually really stoked with everything I've done thus far. Super happy with everything we've put together. This has been a lot of very strategic planning, a long time coming. A lot of money as well. It's also why it's taken time. You know, I just staggered it out, bought stuff as I could afford it. This room is starting to become pretty high value. But again, I'm going to save that for another video. I'll go over every little thing. But I will say we've come a long way from the kitchen table and a VivoBook laptop. But yeah, I just thought it'd be cool to compare those two while I had it out. This, by the way, is not the actual box the motherboard came in. This is a board I used for the giveaway build at Christmas, actually. Just saved the box because I've got a couple of these used ones like this laying around that I don't have boxes for. Which this was also a pretty bare bones board. But it did at least have an M.2 slot. Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot I had that on there. So that's actually what this board is. MSI A320 Pro. So I actually had it right. And I paid $35 for it. Alright, I kind of had to turn my lights off because I was blinding the camera and you guys. So let's see, I've got just about everything. We just need to at least get the motherboard set up before we go to put it in the case. I do have a decision to make I've been sitting on for a while. I've got a phase sheet and I've got Cry-Not, you know, regular thermal paste. I still haven't decided what I want to go with, honestly. The phase sheet is actually reusable, so I'd kind of planned on keeping this and using it for, you know, whenever I'm doing like testing and stuff, where I can just take it off and use it again. So I don't know. We'll at least take a look at it. I did also get the pressure plate to swap out for the CPU, because this is a 12th Gen i9. It gets pretty hot and spicy. This is supposed to help with temps by 5 or 10 degrees. From what I understand, it doesn't help a whole lot for AM5, but literally just a couple of degrees. But on Intel, it will actually show quite a difference. For starters, we have a lot of pills to do on this motherboard. Oh yeah, this is the nicest aesthetic part about this one. This whole thing lights up. But man, there's so many little tiny pills and stuff on here. We got some foam we need to take out. Where else did I see stuff? Oh, right here. Man, this is just a really, really sexy motherboard. Well, there's even one on this little chipset deal. I did actually, I've been spending most of the morning on Amazon. We've got a cruise coming up in November, and I wanted to order me a new laptop backpack. Basically a tech backpack. I ended up going with the Swiss Gear. Pretty nice backpack, but I also ordered Raspberry Pi. So I got an upcoming video for that, because know if anybody follows Toasty Bros, but they found a micro SD card that's preloaded with 12,000 games and your OS for Raspberry Pi on Amazon for like 50 bucks. I went ahead and ordered one of those and ordered Raspberry Pi. It's kind of like Tech Deck for computer nerds. If you guys remember those little skateboards. I don't know. I thought that'd be neat for the cruise, because it is a 7-day cruise. I told my wife I didn't really want to do a 7-day cruise again, but that's all they had available this go around. Because, man, after, it's for some people, and for other people like me, I just, honestly, 3 to 5 days is kind of the sweet spot for me. Because after a few days of being stuck on that cruise ship, it gets kind of old, man. That's just me. Like I said, other people love it, but this is the cryo sheet. It says to cut it to size, but honestly, I don't think we really need to do any cutting. I think that's actually just about perfect size. It also says to cool it before applying it, but it then says do not freeze, and I'm like, well, how am I supposed to cool it? But I don't know. You might just go with the Cryonaut thermal paste, which this is high in thermal paste too. Either one is going to be a good solution. This is much higher end than I usually go with on my builds. Not that I use bad thermal paste, but I normally use Arctic MX6 is what I use the most of. Now I have a whole collection of thermal paste from stuff that comes with coolers and things like that, but I don't ever end up using. I guess we'll start with this yeah, see, there you go. That's a perfect example of this plate, contact plate, whatever the hell you call this thing. What is the correct name? Bending correct frame. Came with thermal paste. That's a perfect example right after I said that. Perfect timing. I don't know what to do with all this thermal paste because the collection's getting kind of big. Not gonna lie. I've got, I don't know, probably 15 tubes of thermal paste. A lot of them are just cheap, crappy looking ones too, that I wouldn't actually care to use unless it's just for some random, cheap application. Some of these look really ghetto. Until I've used one of these frames before, or Thermalright. I already had one of those to match it. Then stuff like this, that just some random no-name thermal grease, Arctic silver. I don't know. This stuff builds up. What do you guys do with all the extra thermal paste you end up with if you don't use it? I've got like a junk drawer I need to create, because I've got those, like thermal paste, the stock coolers for CPUs. I never use those. They're starting to build up. And like Type C cables, like charging cables. I've got like 100 of those from every little tech gadget that I buy. Comes with one. These little basic Type C chargers, like, they're starting to add up pretty quickly as well. I don't know. I hate to throw anything like that away, man. I save like everything within reason, like extra screws and bolts and stuff. This is the thermal paste I normally use, MX6. It's good paste, been proven, and it's very reasonably priced. It's been a while since I've had to buy any thermal paste, but I think I paid like $6, $6 or $8 for this. One of them's an 8 gram, one of them's a 4 gram, so just depends on what size you get too. Alright, so we got to take this CPU frame off and put this one on. Like I said, guys, this is going to be a really long video if I go through with the entire build. Like, once I get my PC built and, you know, I've got my workbench side and my monitors and pretty much the whole area like I want it, I can start focusing more on just the PC flips and stuff for the channel. This has taken up the majority of my thoughts for the last like solid year, just plotting and planning everything in my head. So it's going to free up a lot of RAM in my brain and storage space where I can think about something other than my own setup. Because I'm going to be pretty content for a pretty good while once I get done with my build, if everything comes out alright. Use included screwdriver to remove ILM. Install CPU and socket following triangle sign. Install BCF bending correct frame with original ILM screws. Be aware of installation direction. Alright, so that's going to be a pretty easy one. We already know we want the writing up. And I'm trying not to blind y'all, but at the same time, I'm blind. I can't really see without my work light on. And at least for this particular application, it's not too bad on you guys, but I need to be able to see, man. I don't want to end up bending any of the pins on this motherboard. It would be very bad. Man, I will go ahead and admit LTT came out with the transparent version of the screwdriver, and I already wanted the stubby, so I went ahead and pulled the trigger on both of them. $150 for 2 screwdrivers, which is insane considering how tight I am on trying to find budget stuff. Yet I'll spend $150 on 2 screwdrivers. Very frugal. But, you know, you like what you like. Certain things hold value to me. Other things I'm not willing to spend as much money on. I was trying to keep away from having to use this little Allen wrench, but I don't know if I have the bit I need handy without taking forever to find it. So I'm probably just going to use the little included Allen wrench. But yeah, the Raspberry Pi, I think will give me something to do on the boat, because I've been wanting to get into them anyway. Like I said, finally got everything, all my parts and everything accumulated for my personal PC build, so that wasn't a good sound at all. But yeah, there's so much stuff you can do with those Raspberry Pis. They're really neat. Oh man, this thing is popping like crazy. But for the emulation station, this will be ideal. I won't need internet, and I can do all kinds of stuff on the old school games. Sorry, I'm trying to keep you guys entertained and talk while I do this, but I'm getting to the very nervous step. So I really don't want to get anything in this socket. still blows my mind that you can get so many different variations of colors on this frame, man. That is just so stupid to me. Like, this is the last time you guys will ever see this frame again, unless somebody happens to change the CPU cooler or the CPU. So it's so stupid that they got colors available for it. Oh man, this is the part where my magnetic screwdriver would be really nice to be able to use. I'm spoiled. It's one of the main things about the LTT screwdriver that's nice is you don't have to dick around with any of those stupid little magnetizer squares. Like, all the tips, just the bits are already so well magnetized. You don't have to mess with any of that stuff. But yeah, the Raspberry Pi took me forever to order because there's so many freaking options on little retro cases you can put on it. You can make it look like a little Nintendo 64 or a regular Nintendo, like the old school NES, or like just like a little mini PC. They even have like water cooling pumps and blocks for them. People make little servers out of them. I mean, it's just a whole nother world in itself. If you haven't looked at them or checked into them, like, I would definitely I'm not encouraging like go out and spend a bunch of money on them. It's definitely a hobbyist type thing, but I would definitely just watch some videos on them. They're pretty interesting. I'm excited to play around with it. I actually even thought about not opening anything until we take the trip. That way I can actually, like, I'll have a PC to build on the boat. I thought that'd be kind of neat. I'd like have a PC, you know, like to build while I'm on vacation to get my fix. Okay, that's making a little bit of a cracking noise there. What did this thing say again? It wasn't very specific on how tight or anything, so I think we ought to be good. I got it hand tightened down. I don't want to bog down on it or nothing. As you see, I wear gloves even when it's not, you know, like whenever I'm doing flip builds, I wear the gloves because I don't want to put fingerprints on everything because I'm going to be selling it, obviously. But also, they're non-conductive, so I don't have to worry about, you know, because I am in carpet in this room. I wish this room was like hardwood. Honestly, it'd be a lot easier to sweep up Axel's hair. But alright, we got the contact frame in. This is the tricky part. I've had to, like, I've looked in my manual, done a lot of research. I know if you guys follow the channel, I said before I had like 4 drives. I wasn't even thinking when I said that. I can't fill all these up because then I'll cut my bandwidth and my lanes in half. So if I'm not mistaken, everything I've seen, I need to leave this slot empty. And just fill up these 3, or else I'm going to end up not letting my GPU have its full maximum power. So we'll just start with this one drive for right now, and then later I'll open her up and add the other two because I want to make sure my OS gets put on my Crucial drive. I went with the Crucial P310, 4 terabyte. Every single slot is Gen 4 on this specific motherboard. So, let's see here. And like I said, this video is gonna drag out like my normal style of video. It could be a 5-minute job. I'll turn it into a 50-minute job talking. You guys know me. Got the gift of gab, baby. But your mother doesn't mind it, so. And this thing is, I don't want it to come off of there. This is still blows my mind, man. This motherboard is so freaking nice. I'm so used to working on bare bones, little basic motherboards. I don't know what to do with myself. Like, kind of nervous working on this high-end sucker. There's actually 4 slots. These 2 heat sinks are singles, and then this bottom one is a double. Just make sure you take the tape off of the thermal pad. Definitely don't want to forget that. Save this little CPU enclosure for future used stuff I come across. Let's see here. And this should be toolless. I remember the first computer I ever built. The SSD was like the most troubling part. Like I just could not get that little tiny screw started, man. It was wild. It's funny now looking back, but I may have just jinxed myself because now I'm having trouble with this one. Yeah, it's supposed to be toolless. Come back here. There we go. And we're off. Actually, just had a friend upgrade his RAM and offered to sell me his old RAM yesterday. It's a 128 gigabyte kit of Corsair Vengeance. It was tempting, but man, for one, I really just don't need that much RAM. I don't even edit or anything yet. But man, I just really like the aesthetic of the Dominator. That they don't even make this particular kit anymore. It's like a straight line now, but the one I got has like the dots of LEDs. Like, reminds me of like an old school equalizer on a stereo. You can customize it as well. I just really like the aesthetic of it. Like, I'm just gonna tell you right now, I definitely overpaid. But again, this is all money we've saved too from doing flips. So I mean, that was the whole point from the get-go, was to, you know, make a PC flip, use the profit to buy a part for my personal build. That way, when it came time to buy my parts, I spared no expense. I could get, you know, what I actually wanted. And that's exactly what we did. So I went with 64 gigabyte kit of Corsair Dominator Platinum at CL30, if I'm not mistaken, is the cache latency. But man, this is just the best looking RAM in my opinion. The I can't remember who makes it. The RAM that looks like diamonds on top of it. It's usually either chrome or gold, and then the RGB part is like diamonds. Trident. Man, the name brand escapes me right now, but that's some good looking RAM too. I actually debated on that one. And we did get a kit all together, so they should play nice together. I'm hoping I don't have any issues when I go to overclock and enable Expo. Yeah, it's just, man, it's got some weight to it. Man, that's just some good looking sticks of RAM. Believe that we're gonna go this way. And everything is so high end, I'm just a lot more nervous than usual. It's almost like I'm building my first PC all over again. That's definitely not it. I did have it right. I was just scared to push down on it. There we go. Nice audible click. Probably going to lose some speed installing 4 sticks like this, but like I said, sacrifices were made for aesthetic reasons. I mean, let's be real, I really don't do that much gaming these days anymore. Most of the time when I am playing a game, it's just to test a PC that I've built. So most of the gaming I do is not even on my own rig. It's on a PC that I've built for benchmarking purposes. So this is going to be a big overkill just to watch some YouTube. Man, that is some good looking RAM. That height build, the height Y60, if you guys have been following along, that build did sell for 1,100 bucks. I didn't make a whole lot of money off of it, but man, that was just a really fun build to do. That was the case I originally was gonna do my personal rig in, so it's kind of cool to get to build in it. set this stuff aside. Out of the way over here. And that's our CPU installed. The RAM, we got our M.2. And next we're going to be unboxing the, let's see here, this baby right here. I just had to have, man, that freaking screen is so nice. A curved canvas for your imagination. This is probably where we're gonna cut the video for now, guys. I'll definitely be doing a follow-up video doing the setup tour. Yeah, I don't have a cameraman. This is gonna be kind of hard to film in an entertaining way, but show you guys the LCD screen before we tap out. Yeah, man, that freaking AIO with that screen. As soon as I saw it, I was like, that's the one. Gotta have it. There's a couple more doing it now. I think Thermalright came out with their own version of it. Will probably end up being quite a bit cheaper. I went with the RGB version, which was kind of dumb. I didn't think about it until after I did it. It's only like a $10 difference. But I'm using the Lee Infinity fans. I got one LCD that's going to go on my single fan exhaust. And then I got a 3-pack of the LCD reverse. It's going to be intake for cool air. And they're going to go up and down right here will be reverse blade, and then on the bottom will be reverse blade. So I'll be taking in cool air from there and from the bottom, and then exhausting hot air up here and back here. That is kind of scary about this case too. Those fans aren't really doing anything. They're exhausting up, over, and out, I guess, because this glass panel is not the best for thermals. But yeah, anyway, the LCD screens are only going to be on these 3 upright and then the 1 exhaust. The top 3 and the bottom 3, I went with just regular because, I mean, you're not really going to see those screens anyway, so it just felt kind of stupid. Especially we've got the AIO screen. I mean, I think we've got enough screens going on in there already. But yeah, the top and bottom are not going to be the LCD screen. I didn't notice it until after I bought them, but one of these is a TL and one's an SL. I think the only difference is the aesthetic of the center part. This is blacked out, where this has like the classic mirror part. But I don't know. It's, unless you're like tilting your head up and looking up in the case, you're not going to notice that anyway. And I've got the drives I decided not to go with. I think I'm just going to go with maybe one of these. I'm going to put 3 drives total. I got to take the heat sink off of that. And then everybody's favorite part, the GPU. Of course, I knew they were going to do this anyway. Of course, they just announced they're going to come out with a 5080 Super. It's going to have 24 gigabytes of VRAM. Of course, now that I've bought one. But 16's enough. I should be, like I just said earlier, man, I'm not a frame chaser. I'm not as big. You know, I still love gaming, don't get me wrong. I just don't have as much time to do it anymore. So this should suffice just fine for me. I'm like, man, that GPU is just the coolest one of the 50 series. It really is. I love the Astral. The dope looking GPU. Anyway, that's I'm gonna continue the rest of the build without you guys. This is an expensive build, kind of nervous, so I don't need the added stress of trying to film and entertain you guys while I'm doing it. So me and Axel are out of here. Peace.